Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly and it is lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be talking about coziness for mental health. So grab a cup of tea, let's get to it. So the other day, one of my favourite YouTube channels, It's a Charming Life, I'll leave a link to them down below. But Lindsay over at It's a Charming Life shared her journey with SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, which is seasonal depression basically, and she really struggles this time of year. So Lindsay felt really vulnerable doing this video. But when I watched it, I was so moved by her openness and how she really talked about the things that she does to foster the best mental health that she can this time of year. And it really got me thinking about how we can bring this cozy, lovely feeling into our lives on the everyday. A way for us to slow down a little bit, take a breath and just take some time for ourselves, do a little bit of self-care in the winter time and cozy on up. And it was really reinforced this morning when I picked up this lovely fluffy big cardigan that I got from Asda. And I just thought to myself, this makes me feel safe, it makes me feel cozy and warm, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here, isn't it? We want to talk about mental health, we want to talk about how this feeling of coziness really brings us back. It makes me think about my ancestors. It makes me think, because you know I'm on a spiritual journey, I do a lot of videos on here about spirituality. That's not what I'm talking about here. But in my journey, I often want to connect with my ancestors, the people that came first. And I think about them in this time of year, cuddled up in a cave with a little fire going, trying to stay warm, that feeling of safety and feeling of closeness to the fire. That is what this brings to mind for me, and that's why I want to try and bring more of that into my life. So thank you, Lindsay, for inspiring that in me, because I really want to talk about some ways that we can bring this cozy, lovely feeling into our lives every day to foster the best mental health that we can at times when we're struggling. So this is about really looking after our mental health. So the first is a fireplace. Now, I'm lucky now where I've moved in with my mom. She does have a fireplace and it's a really nice fireplace, and sometimes we'll just put on, it's like electric, so you can have the heat on or you can just have the flames. And we do that quite often, just put the flames on and it feels warm even if you're not using the full warmth available. And it got me thinking about ways that we can bring that feeling in, and a fireplace really brings that. So if you are able to turn on your fireplace, if you have the money, if you have a fireplace, turn it on now and again in the evenings just to get that real cozy feeling. Maybe light some candles, you know, really make it cozy and lovely. But if you do not have a fireplace, and many homes don't here in the UK, we don't have them, and I'm sure in America and other places people don't really have them. If you go on YouTube, you can find channels that have just got a video of a fireplace. And even I saw on Amazon Prime, they have a whole channel that's just a fireplace. I don't know if it's a live stream of a fireplace, I'm not sure how they do it, but it's just a channel of a fireplace. I really want to say that even if you don't have a fire, just put it on your TV or on your iPad or your phone or whatever, and just kind of get that idea, that feeling of being huddled around a fire. It's cozy, it's lovely, it's warm. And sometimes just looking at flames of a fireplace makes you feel warmer. You don't have to turn the heating on, you don't have to, you know, grab a blanket or whatever, but you do feel warmer. So that is my first tip. The second tip is a cozy blanket. I got this blanket when I redid my bedroom, and I do have a video of me updating the bedroom when we swapped with my mom, so if you want to see that I'll link it down below and up above. But this is my furry blanket and I put it on top of me on the bed every night, and I love stroking it as I fall to sleep. It's so warm and cozy. I love having a nap under it. This was like £15 from Georgia Asda, so if I can find a link, if it's still available, I will link you down below. Blankets like this are amazing just to make you feel that little bit cozier, that little bit toastier. They're comforting because they're soft, you know, it's really nice. And I definitely am somebody who loves to curl up under a blanket if my fatigue is too high, if I'm struggling with pain. Blanket is all I need to feel so much better. So if you're struggling with your depression this time of year, cuddle up under a blanket, get hold of a warm blanket from somewhere. It really will help. I know it sounds crazy, but it really will help. It helps me every single time. The next thing is reading a book curled up in an armchair or curled up on the sofa with a dog or a cat on your lap. This is such a lovely little bit of self-care. I love doing this. I do it every day, just curl up with a book. Or sometimes I watch my YouTube videos in my watch later, you know, just curling up, feeling that cozy feeling, having a dog. There's always one of the dogs on me when I'm doing this, but it feels so nice. Make it even better. Put your fire on and get your blanket and the dog and then a book, and you are in heaven right there, my friend. That's what I'm talking about. Who's going to be feeling anything but cozy and warm and toasty and cared for? And that's all we need, isn't it? That bit of care, that bit of loving energy. And sometimes if we can't get it from people around us, especially at the moment, we're in a horrible pandemic. It's a scary, scary state of affairs at the moment. A lot of us can't go out. We might be isolated. And so showing that love to yourself, that is going to make so much difference. So yeah, curling up with a blanket and a furry pet definitely helps. The next is grabbing your favourite cardigan or jumper. I often steal my husband's jumpers because they're big and cosy and they smell of him. It's just so lovely. And when I was a kid, I used to love stealing my dad's jumpers and my mum's cardigans and curling up in them. It's bringing back that feeling that I can smell my mum all around me and I'm all cozy and warm. I'm probably a bit sleepy because we're out somewhere and I'm in my pushchair and I've got this cardigan around me. It's that kind of safe feeling, and this kind of tip really evokes that. It brings it back, that safe feeling. And I think for me, with my anxiety disorder, I often feel unsafe most of my time. Even though I am completely safe in the home where I live, my mind makes me feel unsafe and I'm often in that fight or flight because of my anxiety. Clothes I choose, the blankets I buy, things like that make all the difference. And so I really want to say that if you are struggling with anxiety or depression, cuddling up and getting that cozy feeling will help. It will really help. And weighted blankets, if you can get hold of a weighted blanket, they are the best. I love a weighted blanket. I've got one. It's stored somewhere because we're in the middle of moving still. It's a bit of a nightmare, my friends, but we'll get there in the end. But it's packed away somewhere. But I love my weighted blanket, and so if you can get hold of a weighted blanket, do so. I did do a video about weighted blankets. I will leave that down below and up above because oh my goodness, they're amazing. Definitely recommend, because they give you that feeling of being hugged, that feeling of heaviness on you. It helps with insomnia, helps with pain, it helps with depression, anxiety. The research is incredible for weighted blankets and they help so much. I get so much out of my weighted blankets, so I'll definitely recommend those. The next thing is having something that you can keep on standby. For me, it's my favourite teddy bear. I've had him since I was like 1 or something. McTavish is his name. All my family are like, oh, not McTavish. But I love McTavish and I love curling up with him. If I'm not feeling well, you'll find McTavish in my arms or lying on me somewhere. It just makes me feel comforted and loved. It's bringing back those feelings of childhood. I grew up in a house that had a lot of conflict in it and had a lot of arguments, and I often found myself in my bedroom with my teddy bear curled up, snuggling him, and it makes me feel safe. And so if you have something like that, a comfort blanket that from childhood, or a teddy bear, something like that, that really helps you, keep it close by. It's really important that we have things within reach, because when you have depression, it's so hard to get the motivation to move. And so if you're in bed, for example, and your teddy bear is in the living room, you're not going to always be able into the living room, get that teddy bear, bring it back and snuggle up with him. But if you keep him close by, close to your bed, close to wherever you tend to rest and tend to congregate. For me, when my depression flares, it's always my bed. You'll very rarely get me out of bed. So I always keep them next to me, if that makes sense. And lastly, it's a hot drink, a really lovely, cozy cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate. I love, like today it's quite stormy, it's raining a lot, the wind is howling around the house, and I just sat in our sunroom with a big hot chocolate and just kind of sat there and just had a few moments with my jigsaw that me and my husband are doing, and it just felt lovely. My mum was in the room and we were chit-chatting back and forth, but I spent most of my time just really concentrating on the jigsaw and being mindful in the moment. It's such a lovely way of feeling cozy, feeling secure and comforted. And that's what this video is all about. Comfort and coziness are different for everyone, but these are things that I could think about. So I would love it if you've got any other ways that you do this, how you bring that feeling of coziness, that feeling of warmth and comfort into your life. How do you do that? Is any of these ways how you do it? Are there things that I haven't brought up that you're just like, oh my gosh, she forgot this? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I always love chatting to you all about mental health, about pain relief, about disability and chronic illness, because a lot of the time we feel left out by our health professionals. Let's be honest, especially at the moment in the middle of this plague situation, trying to get in with a doctor is so hard, and so it feels like we're alone, but we're not, because we're all here. We're all a big community, and by swapping back and forth our ideas and our theories and what works for us is how we find new ways of helping ourselves. So definitely let me know down in the comments if there's anything like that that you think of that needs to be included to help others. While you're down there, don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to leave this video a lovely cheeky little like. It really helps me to know which videos you like, so I can bring more of them to my channel. And yeah, it just helps me so much to curate my content and to know what to bring here to the channel. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you'll leave it a little like. And if you do enjoy my content, if you like the things that I talk about, if you like my face, I hope that you'll head down below and hit subscribe, join the butterfly family, and really become part of this lovely little community that we've got going here. I would love that. I would love to spend more time with you. So I really hope that you will head down there, click that little subscribe button, ring that little bell, so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, my health permitting. I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. My darlings, I really hope that this video can bring some coziness to your day, can help you to think of some ways to really foster that lovely, cozy feeling in your everyday to help your mental health at the moment. I know things are crazy, but if we stick together, we can get through this. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!